Thank you for joining us today. The season is finally here, and we're looking forward to watching you compete this spring after the fall season was postponed. Coming off a successful campaign in 2019, which included an NCAA appearance, what are your expectations for the upcoming season?
Well, I mean, we returned a bulk of the group that we had last year. We have a pretty exciting incoming freshman group. So our expectations are to build on what we did last year and really try to go further than what we did last year. So that means, can we win a WCC title instead of finishing second at 6-1? And can we advance further in the tournament than the first round of the NC2A tournament?
And can you talk a little bit about your approach to this season and how it compares to ones in the past?
Yeah, sure. I mean, previous years and normal years, we get less than 2 weeks with our guys prior to the season starting, and we jump into two-a-days and try to get up to speed as quickly as possible. This past fall and this particular spring, we've been much more methodical about building up the fitness of our guys and building towards games. So we'll spend, even right now, restarting in the spring. In the fall, we spent a good 2 weeks with just individual skill work before we built into any small pod work and then built into team training. So we're just much more methodical about going through individual play and training, building into small pods, small group work before we get any full field scrimmages going on.
Perfect. And can you talk about kind of the team dynamic and the leaders on this year's team? Is there anyone who we should keep an eye on out there on some of them?
I mean, we have a really good team returning. I'm pretty excited about. I mean, I could list my entire starting lineup because we returned the bulk of that returning lineup, that whole lineup. Jacob Jackson in goal was fantastic last year, and we're expecting big things from him. Jack Sauls will take over as our target forward, and he was one of our leading scorers, playing a limited amount of minutes last year. We get Dehaney Williams and Narciso Cervantes coming back in as wingers, and they were very dangerous as wingers and big goal scorers. Our international guys return with Noel Caliscan and Bastian Oberle in the middle of the field. We're excited about those guys, and our entire back line returns led by Nick Deschaux and Gerardo Lopez. But even CJ Wood on the left and Dylan Shockey on the right. I mean, I could go on, and that's not even mentioning any of our incoming freshmen who we're really excited about. Maybe the best incoming freshman class I've ever had here. So I'm very pleased and excited about how we're poised to do something really dangerous this year on the field.
And this fall, your team had the team high GPA, as well as 8 seniors graduated, but several of them have returned for an additional year. Can you talk about that group and what they meant to the team?
Yeah, I mean, that group got us back into the national stage, and got us back to the NC2A tournament. We've been 6 years away from that. So from 2013 to 2019, the great news is we return several of those seniors that have graduated, and they've jumped into they've timed themselves to finish their undergraduate program, but the majority, the bulk of them, are jumping into a graduate program. And I wasn't planning on this happening. None of us were. And it's made it difficult because scholarship-wise, financial aid-wise, it's difficult because you've got an incoming freshman group that you're looking to take care of, and you've got a group of seniors who are staying in the program. So generally, that scholarship money that might come back that you can use for a freshman class, we didn't have as much this year. So, but I'm very excited about the fact that we've been able to manage to keep those really good players for another year.
And you mentioned it kind of at the start about competing for a WCC title this year. Obviously, conference season is going to start basically one of the first few games. What can you tell us about the conference outlook and competition this year?
I mean, the WCC is such a grind. Every game, doesn't matter where you're playing, who you're playing, there's so many good teams in the conference. And we've shown that in the last several years, we're getting multiple teams chosen to the NC2A tournament. So every single game, whether we're at home or whether we're away, is a grind. And the WCC is a really good conference. And, everybody's itching to get onto the field and really go after us. I mean, the thing that inspired us last year so much was that the conference coaches chose us to finish eighth in the tournament, eighth in the conference, and I think that propelled us to really go after each and every game. Well, I don't think that's going to be the case this year. We'll see. To be honest, if they want to choose us to finish eighth again this year, it might come as a blessing because it'll fire up my guys even more. But every game is a grind with the WCC.
Got it. And in closing, any final words ahead of the season?
Just, we're doing our best to stay safe. I've got my mask around my neck because I'm doing this interview, but even when I sit alone in my office, I've got my mask on. We train with our masks on. We socially distance, even at training. We're doing our best to protect our team and the LMU community, and we're doing that because we really are looking forward to stepping on the field and producing some results this year.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.